Welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. Today I have the wonderful Susan Reynolds with me again for the month of April, psychic and astrological predictions in 2024. And welcome, Susan. We've got a lot to talk about this month. So much.
April is going to be a humdinger. There is a
Yes,
lot going on
it is.
astrologically and in the world this coming month. Yeah.
Really, really is. And I got to tell you, so I just got back from teaching my psychic awareness retreat in Sedona, and I I could feel the energy shifting. And I mean, I was in the most magical place in the world to be at when the energy started shifting and coming in, because we did have the lunar eclipse on March 5th, and I felt that. I felt that about 3, 4 days beforehand, 3, 4 days after. And what was interesting is that I can feel our timelines shifting right now. You can feel it in the air. Even the average person can tell that something is going on right now, right? You can feel it. Doesn't matter how sensitive you are. And I truly believe that these 2 weeks, if we know how to work with the energy of the eclipse energy that is coming in, it can be an amazing time in our life. However, it can also wreak havoc because energy doesn't know good or bad. It is defined by each and every person that is using it, right? So we've got the solar eclipse coming up here on April 8th,
April
right
8th.
after, pretty close to Easter, which is interesting. I
hmm
feel like we are entering times of biblical proportions. I really, really do. Because as I know you're going to get talking into the planetary alignments, but for me, remote viewing the energy and feeling the energy of what's going on, I can feel, and we know that eclipse season is all about what's been hidden is coming to light. And you look, for example, even in Hollywood, Holly Weird, who's been arrested this week. P. Diddy has been arrested for
I
sex
was just thinking
trafficking.
about this when I was getting ready to get online with you. I thought about, well, what's been revealed that has been hidden because
Yes,
eclipses tend to do that. And the first thing
yeah,
that came to mind was Princess Catherine and her cancer diagnosis. But then right
absolutely.
after that was P. Diddy and the FBI and sex trafficking. And I'm like, what? What did I miss?
Yes.
Like one day it's not there and the next day it is.
Do you want to know why you and I are surprised by these news? Because we don't operate in that reality. That's not part of our reality. I don't focus on anything outside of this now moment that I'm experiencing, and it is the where peace is profound. That's where the peace is. But I don't tap into that stuff. I heard that stuff through the grapevine, and it's like, it is though interesting how both Kate and Charles both have cancer. How the king of the Rothschilds just recently passed away this past month. Um, it just seems like there's a lot of the old that is coming up to be, I don't know, to be revealed, I guess.
Well, remember what
And
I talked about when we did our thing in January? I said the
yeah,
old Capricorn energies of traditional leadership are leaving
yes,
and the new
yes,
appearing energies are coming in.
yeah. And it's so true. I mean, look what's happening, right? So I really feel that over these next few weeks, it can be life changing for the people who know how to stand in their power, stay in their strength, stay in their lane. That's a big one. Keep your mouth shut and stay in your lane, right? Because the thing is it's whipping around. The energy's fast and furious and it's whipping around. And that's what I saw when I remote viewed the energy of these next few weeks. It just feels like karma is whipping around. Apologies are coming to light. People that have done you wrong, don't be surprised if you're hearing apologies from people that all of a sudden you haven't heard from in 4 years. It even happened to me over the last couple of weeks where I was like, whoa, I didn't think I'd ever get an apology regarding that. And I got a please forgive me, not just a I'm sorry. So it's interesting how truth is coming to light. So we need to pay to where we're riding right now, because if we've been, hiding our own stuff or holding on to secrets, not a good way to live, and I gotta say, I've got a horrible memory, so I make a horrible liar. I can barely remember the truth, let alone a lie. And you got to have a really good memory if you're a liar. But it's interesting how lies are coming to the surface, and yeah, it's in our face, but it's an energy that is definitely coming in. Now let's go into this solar eclipse for a second. Let's talk about this, because I also heard some crazy energy that I shared with you right before I clicked record. So, did you know that CERN is being reactivated on April 8th? Why?
I did not know that.
That is the particle accelerator. They say that CERN is out there to discover the answers of the universe. Why are they activating that on April 8th? I feel that that is very significant. And the same thing, and y'all can go look this up. NASA is firing 3 big rockets at the Ring of Fire. They're calling it the Ring of Fire when it, goes, covers the sun. They're firing 3 rockets at it. So why? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that?
That is very
And the thing is
interesting.
that it is. It really is. So what do they know? Here's the other thing. If you're in the States around the Texas area, from what I've heard, the US military is telling people to stock up on food, stock up on gas and toiletries and whatever you need. Why? Why is there this warning to stock up? Yes, the energy is going to be very potent. I can feel that. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to feel, I believe, we're going to feel a mounting sensation up until that eclipse. Now, do I feel that all hell is going to break loose and the world's coming to an end and, everything's going sideways? No. But I do believe that we should be ready for everything and nothing to happen. You know what I mean? We should be ready, because honestly, who was ready for 2020, right? How do
Yeah.
you prepare for something like that? So be ready for everything and nothing, because something's going down. I don't believe that the general public will know exactly what that is. I believe that there is possibly something very spiritual coming in, or I it's so funny that they talk about alien invasions and stuff, but it's there's something that our governments are up to on April 8th. And that's what I don't like. I don't like that they're not telling the truth. Because even when I went on the NASA website, even when I, was reading up about CERN, it's like, yeah, they're not telling us the truth of what they're doing there. Right. So I find it very, very, very interesting. And I will also say, because I handle the remote viewing and the psychic aspect of this conversation, and you handle the astrological side of things. We come together, we compare notes and go, hey, what matches, what doesn't? And I guess we'll have to see until next month, right? So, the Baltimore Bridge collapse, that did not feel like an accident to me. That really didn't feel like an accident to me. The other thing that I heard was Biden saying that the US government was going to pay for that repair. If that was an accident, why isn't insurance covering that? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
US
No, I
government,
hadn't heard any of that. And
yeah,
I'm sure they're going to be, cleaning this up and dealing with it for the next few years, kind
yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
I know that here in the
Oh, of
United
course.
States, they
But
did pass
here's
a bill for that.
here's the weird thing. That bridge was constructed for all of the trucks carrying dangerous goods,
Hmm.
right? Carrying
That's what
gases
I
and
knew.
dangerous goods that they didn't want going into the tunnel.
Hmm.
What's going on? I said it in my last few videos that the US needs to be careful that they're not going to get dragged into World War III. And I feel like they don't want to get dragged into World War III, but I don't believe that that bridge collapse was an accident. It just remote viewing and psychically, it just didn't feel like an accident to me. And then when I heard the driver of the boat was Ukrainian, and he was a Ukrainian that who came over here not too long ago, it just, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not putting out accusations or anything like that, but it doesn't feel right to me, is what I'm trying to say. So, everybody out there, let me know your comments. How does it feel to you? For all the other remote viewers out there watching this, or other psychics out there who come across this video, comment, leave it in the comments. Tell me what you think, because something just doesn't, to me, feel right. I know the energy of an accident. I know the energy of something intentional. This felt rather intentional to me. So when your bridge now is out for the next 5 years, not only are you clogging up that tunnel, right? But you're also transferring dangerous goods within that tunnel. It'd be very easy to blow up that tunnel and go, oops, there was dangerous goods in that truck. I don't know.
I
I'm
don't know.
not saying
I
that's
hadn't
gonna,
gotten anything. I
I'm
hadn't
just
gotten anything
saying it's a
where it
little
wasn't
weird.
an accident or it was. I just, my radar hasn't been on for this. So, but I trust your radar. And if you're saying you're picking up an energy that doesn't feel accidental, then I trust
Yeah.
that.
Well, I've felt that within the States even over the last few months. I've said to you guys, watch out for lone actors, because the state is vulnerable. It does. And that's critical infrastructure,
Critical
right?
infrastructure.
So critical, and I think I even mentioned, oh, let me look. Was it fair? I mentioned critical. I mentioned the word critical infrastructure. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back in my notes. I got two books that uh, that I go back and forth in, but oh yeah. Okay. Question: where's Baltimore? I don't even know. Where is it? Because I just came
Maryland,
across
in
notes.
the Northeast part of the United States, along the East Coast of the United States,
North.
below New York
Is it
and above
is it on the
Virginia.
coast?
It's on the coast.
Okay, because I did say, or I have it written down here. But I don't know if I said it publicly. That was the thing, because I don't like to put out fear, right? But I did the explosion or collapse of bridge, but I didn't see I didn't see northeast. I never eat shredded wheat. I thought it was more west.
Well,
So
you know as well as I do, when you're picking up intuitively, you get an energy and then you have to try to decode that energy. So it sounds like you
yeah,
were getting a lot of correct
exactly.
information.
But that was in what month did I write this? Hang on. Oh God, I wrote. Oh, wait. 2024 predictions. So this one was it was all the way from January.
Wow. Wow.
And I also wrote, where is that? Um, and lower on the page, I have factory explosion. Well, when did I see that happening? Huh, I didn't write down dates. This is from my January prediction, so maybe have to go
Okay.
back and even read and see if I mention it, because I don't like putting out
I know.
you know I don't want to put out fears. That's not what we're here for. You know, I'd
There's enough
rather give,
fear.
yeah, like I'd rather just tell people uh, um how to deal with it, right? Because this world is going to go crazy all around us anyways. It's how we deal with it that matters the most, right? we
All
can
this hype
we can we
around the
can sit
solar eclipse on the 8th, it's like the news media is trying to create fear and get everybody all
yes,
agitated because that, quite frankly, leads ratings, although I feel kind of bad saying that. But this solar eclipse coming up on the 8th, this is not something to fear. This I'm kind of
yeah,
looking forward
I
to it.
agree.
It's
Me
just like the
too. I
lunar
can
eclipse.
feel the mounting.
Yes.
Hmm.
When you have a spiritual awareness, when you are sensitive, when you are living your life with a certain level of consciousness, you get to own the energy of these events instead of it owning you. You're not like, just some sort of bystander walking along and boom, an anvil falls on your head. This is you walking along going, oh, look at the anvil up there. I think I'm going to take this street over here, kind of thing. We have choices and we're empowered. So something that maybe the world or other people are looking at with Chicken Little and the sky is falling, we get to look at in a totally different way. These events help move us
100%.
forward. And I'm
Yeah, and it is.
excited.
It's all about perspective.
Yes.
Good. Good, good, good. And you know what? That's the thing. If fear or faith, both of them ask you to believe in something that you can't, that's not tangible, right? So I think I'd rather lean into my faith. And that actually is the key to getting through this time right now. That's what Spirit showed me. Because it's going to feel almost like anxiety or excitement, right? Both of them resonate on the same level, excitement and anxiety, right? So it's how you're looking at it. One is anxiety that can be immobilizing, or one is excitement, yay, right? So if you float with it and you allow it to excite you instead of agitate you, you watch what you attract, right? Because the things is that you begin to glow and you become brighter quicker in the field of energy that's around us right now. And so no, I think it's kind of magical these next 2 weeks, and I think that we should use it to take it to our advantage and do our little salt baths, that we've talked about before, the salt and the Himalayan salt and the box of baking soda, and dump it in the bath and go clear your energy, because we're here for this time. We're here for this reason, and to experience it and to work with it as far as concerns. But things are changing, and it's really weird that CERN is involved.
I had no idea about that, but I find it interesting that they're firing these rockets to the Ring of Fire, because this eclipse is happening in the sign of Aries, which is all about fire. And so its ruling planet is Mars. We have the sun in Aries and the moon also in Aries, and they're coming together. That's a lot of fire energy. And so when you
Yeah.
get that, fire is like electricity. It's just an energy. You use it in positive or negative ways. It's totally up to
Hmm.
you. And I'm excited because Aries loves being first. It loves beginning new projects. Seeing them through, maybe not so much, but they love that start. They love the impulsiveness. They love the, oh, let's do this, and getting excited about it. So a
Yeah.
lot of people, I think a lot of people watching are getting excited about something. Maybe they're starting a new
Mhm.
project at work, or they're starting their own business, or they're going on a trip, or they're falling in love, but there's a sense of excitement. Something new is coming in, you know,
Yes. Yes.
and they can't pinpoint it, but they can feel it.
Hmm.
Typically, you look at any kind of moon activity 3 days before, day of, 3 days after, 7 days total. So if this is happening on the 8th, you'll be looking at that from April 5th until April 11th, 8, 9, 10, 11th. Yeah. But sensitive people, just so Patricia, what you just said, we're going to notice this early. We're going to be ahead of that curve. Many of you are already feeling this. Some people might be having trouble sleeping. They don't understand what's going on. It's
Yeah.
that sort of hum in the background that is going to start, the volume is going to
Yeah.
slowly start to get turned up between now and the solar eclipse on the 8th. And as you mentioned, the path of this solar eclipse falls in the United States going down to Texas. So this can
Yes.
mean Texas is in the news for some reason. God knows Texas has been in the news for a lot of reasons, most of them not very good. Bad storms, and then they had that ice storm and a hurricane, and all these border conflicts, and Texas has had a share of problems. So think about this. Not only might something be activated within that frame of time, but the results of eclipses often show up about 6 months later. So what we're
Oh.
saying, what we're doing, what we're experiencing now, the results may show up in the fall.
Hmm.
So think about this and tie them together. The decisions you're making now about directions you're going to take and things you're going to do, you're going to start to see the results of those 6 months down the road. And this is
Yeah.
wonderful for having the courage to do something that you're scared of. Are you
Hmm.
scared to quit your job and start your own business? Scared to retire? Scared to speak in public? You know, we all have our little fears and the things that like, oh no, I don't think so, you know. And this is a wonderful time. I love the courage of Aries. It's one of the things I love about them the most. I was like, I ain't afraid of no ghosts, and they just go out there and they're gonna do it. They're gonna give it a shot.
Yeah,
So think about something that you might have been a little cautious. I'm not going to say, you know, be irresponsible, but something that says, you know what, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let my fear stop me. So that's one of the things I love the best about Aries. But you also have to be aware of the shadow side of Aries, just like you have to be aware of that for any sign. And the shadow
yeah,
side of Aries is anger. It can be anger that turns into violence. I don't like you. We're not going to talk about this. I'm going to punch you in the nose. You get
yeah,
impulsive and angry together. And that is not always a good combination because you're
mm,
not thinking before you do something. You're not
yeah,
rationalizing it. You are acting impulsively and go, oh, maybe I shouldn't have done that. And then you have to try to clean up the mess, you know, kind of thing. So think about people who are not aware, who are not spiritually active, who are not
yeah,
asking something of themselves, who have this energy coming in that they're just going to react to. So, although we may be grounded and we may be experiencing this in a very positive way, it does not mean everybody's going to experience it that way. If you're somebody that pushes down your anger, this eclipse can kind of bust it open and you can see angry people around you. You know, like, why is the cashier in such a bad mood? Why are we seeing more
yeah,
road rage? Like, we may be fine in this circle and this bubble of peace and love and light, and yet all around us we're seeing people be cranky and irritable or whatever. So be aware if somebody's anger is directed at you. It may not really be directed at you. You may just be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and you know, your spouse, your kids are just yelling at you because they're upset at something else. So you have to
yeah,
really look during this time at how are you
mm,
using your voice? Are you using it in anger? Are you using it impulsively without thinking? Or are you using it with courage to lift up and to inspire? Because that's one of the things Aries does the best. They inspire and they get you excited. And Aries is really good at protecting the underdog. I don't see people talk a lot about that. Aries has confidence in themselves, but they most of the time, the more elevated high side of Aries, they're not using that to try to get something over on you. They're using that to, wait a minute, it was this person's turn to talk. Here, you go ahead and speak. You know, they're going to protect the weaker. And can't we all use more of that energy? So
yeah,
it's like we all get this burst of energy, this gift, a bowl of energy on a platter. That's just how you're going to use it. What are you going to do with
yes,
your life?
yeah, yeah, I agree. And for the people who are still, being pulled into that 3D matrix, it can be hell. It can, honestly, it's like sins coming up all over the place. So, yeah, we just gotta really watch how we're presenting our energy to the world. We do. And, cleansing our energy at the end of the night. Like if you haven't gotten into listening to a nightly meditation before you fall asleep, do. You'll sleep way more peaceful. Um, because it's all about your level of consciousness and where you're vibrating at. And that, if you are self-aware and you know what you're, presenting to the world every day, you know how you can slay your demons and conquer the world. So it's a different consciousness level. But I think that more people are waking up. I'm seeing it. I'm totally seeing it out there in my clientele. It's wonderful that more guys are waking up too. I've had a lot more guys in my classes and even at my retreat, and it was wonderful to have that energetic balance between the divine masculine and feminine. So I think it's really, humanity on a deeper level is waking up.
I was reading today for a woman that got an astrology chart for her daughter, who is 4 years old. And
Oh, no way.
I love it when parents do that because I always look at that astrology chart as a parent's secret weapon
Yeah.
because it's hard being a parent. And when I can say, well, this is what's normal for them, or this is what they're learning, or these are the issues that are going to
Yeah.
show up, most of the parents are like, oh, it's not me. I'm not a bad mom. It's them. That's what they're supposed to be learning. And so one of the things that I was talking to my client today to do with her child, who happened to be very sensitive, very intuitive, and I was like, her energy is wide open. And during these chaotic times with this solar eclipse coming up and all these shifting energies, I said, what can happen is your child is fine, happy, gets home from school. You go to the grocery store, you're in there 20 minutes, you come out, they're cranky, they're in a bad mood, they're fussy. I said,
Mhm.
what they're doing is picking up bits and pieces of everybody else's energy, and they don't know how to protect themselves. So one of the things you especially need to do as a parent, and we need to do it for ourselves, when you're going to go out and be around a lot of people, strangers, people you don't know, put a shield of light around you.
Yeah,
You know, protect yourself
totally.
and teach kids how to do this at an early age. It's one of the best things you could ever teach them. And a friend
Yeah.
of mine was teaching her daughter how to do this. And she said, you know what? I forgot to put a shield of light around you. We went into this grocery store. Let's just get rid of all that energy. And she showed her how to
Ah,
brush herself off and then lift up her arms to,
okay.
to increase her energy and fluff up her aura. And her daughter loves it. She said, Mommy, I need my aura fluffed. And so they'll fluff
Oh my
it
God,
together. Yeah.
that's so awesome.
We can all use this to be a little bit
Yeah,
more aware of our energy and make sure we're staying grounded and centered and not picking up any of the, the toxic stuff that is, videoed into our world every day and that we experience. We have the
mm,
opportunity now to experience this
yeah,
eclipse in an illuminating way that really lifts us up. So I'm excited about it. I cannot wait.
yeah,
I
me
cannot
too.
wait. Next month, I want to talk about what happened for us. What did we experience? How did we see this? I think on the
Yeah,
news, on TV, we may
yeah,
start to see more public figures lash out because, that's the anger part of that coming out maybe in an unenlightened way. So we may
yeah,
see Diddy on the news lashing out at terrible people targeting him or political figures fighting with each other more or entertainment figures going, we don't like this or that other person, or we may see
yeah.
this play out on the news, as above, so below. They may be expressing that. That's fine. You just don't have to buy into that. Yeah.
I think Oprah Winfrey needs to be investigated as well, to be very honest with you.
You mean
She was
financially
BFFs
or
with, no,
or
like for sex trafficking and
or
child
really?
trafficking. I really do. I know, yeah, I know it's a shocker, but yes, because she was BFFs with Harvey Weinstein, P. Diddy, Beyonce, who's Jay-Z. Beyonce and Jay-Z are not good people. I would not
No,
be surprised if they're in it too. They're not good people, but they're very powerful, right? Very, very powerful. So I don't know if they're in that untouchable group or not, but apparently P. Diddy wasn't. So I don't know. It just feels like the people who kind of think they're untouchable, they're not so untouchable. But Oprah's in that category. Mark my words. She was on Epstein Island. She was friends with Epstein, Weinstein, P. Diddy. Look who Marina Abramovic. Let's talk about her. Have you ever heard of her?
no.
She's the famous, yeah, she's the famous satanic artist who is in with all of the celebrities. She does this thing called spirit cooking, where she literally has a cake of a dead body, and you have to eat from it. It's basically it's like cannibalism. It is. She's sick. She's sick. You got to look into Maria Abramovic if you want to go down that rabbit hole. But she is as evil as it gets. And she's BFF with Bill Gates, which makes me wonder. She's BFF with the Clintons, all of them. There is a group of these elites that are all into this stuff. They're all into this stuff. And
So
I
when you
think
say
that
the
it's so mind
stuff, you
blowing
mean sex trafficking.
that child sex trafficking, adrenochrome, things that, you know, things that would blow the average person's mind. And that's why it seems so far-fetched. But I don't believe that
I'm
it's
going to
conspiracy
say
theory.
I've never gotten that about Oprah. I have gotten that about some other people. Um,
Well, did
and some of the
did you
names you
notice
mentioned. I'm sorry.
Oprah, I think, is kind of in the untouchable club, because did you notice how everything even burnt around her estate, yet her estate was not touched on Lahaina Island in Hawaii?
Oh, no, I
And
did not know
Lahaina,
that.
yeah, her whole property. completely untouched, and she has a blue roof. And you've heard about the blue roof theory, right?
No, I'd
Where
never heard of the blue roof.
yeah, you paint
I need to
your
get
blue,
out more.
all the blue roofs, none of the blue roofs, houses with blue roofs, none of them burnt. None of them burnt.
So
And that's why people say, was it a laser that started that fire? What was it? Because it didn't burn like nature normally burns. It burned different. And it's crazy how it wiped out the regular person's houses and communities. But you go into like The Rock, his property, Oprah Winfrey's property, none of them were touched. How? Why? Don't tell me that was the grace. Nah, what part of the group are you in? Because I truly believe that Hawaii burned because they are going to be putting in a 15-minute city. Mark my words, they've already signed up for it. And the problem is where they wanted, where it burnt is prime land. It was right on the ocean. It's prime land where it burnt, right? So, and there was a meeting or something about the 15-minute city, and the people said absolutely not. We're not selling our properties, we're not moving. So let's just burn it to the ground. And then when we rebuild, it's going to say, no, the government is paying you guys out, and now this is where the new 15-minute city is being built. And I hate to say that, I really do, but that's what I feel happened. That was the government at work with that fire. I
no,
truly
I've
believe that.
never gotten the
Same thing.
15-minute city thing, but I've gotten when the fires happened, I had that kind of feeling like you just had about the bridge, like
Intentional.
this doesn't
Yeah,
feel right. Like,
yeah,
that, I'm not so sure about this. And it's hard to describe. All I can say, it's like something's off, like something didn't feel right about that to me. And so that part, I was like, I don't think this is what we think it is or what it's being presented as, kind
yeah,
of thing. So
yeah.
yeah, so that
Well, and
part, yeah.
it's really easy to say it's nature, but when they go and they look in, there's the investigation. You're going to find out, the firemen didn't do their job. The police did the opposite of what they were supposed to do. Like it's insane because emergency um, preparedness is there. And it's like they went completely against everything that they had prepared for. So why? This is where we got to start asking ourselves the question of why. It was just like I said to a friend just yesterday when we were talking about global debt and how all these countries are in debt, right? I said, step back and ask ourselves, we need to ask ourselves, who are we in debt to? Who, when they say that Canada is trillions of dollars in debt and the US is billions of dollars in debt, and
Really.
who are we indebted to? Is it each other? What is it? What higher power,
United
what higher
States is
bank?
China.
But
So
seriously,
trillions of
who
dollars to China is for the United
okay,
States,
fair
it's
enough.
trillions of
But
dollars
when
we owe China.
yeah, when they say the whole world is in a state of debt, are we in debt to each other? Or is there a
Oh,
higher power? Is there something higher that we're indebted to? You know what I mean? We just
interesting concept. I didn't think about it like that.
are
As
indebted
above,
to.
so below.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's I don't know, I just think that we really need to start asking ourselves these big questions. And the other thing I wanted to say too, because you know, I grew up knowing my Bible and certain passages that stuck with me and stuff. And my parents really scared me about the end days and revelations and stuff. And when we get into the planetary astrology behind the eclipse and everything, you'll see that there's actually biblical correlations between the astrology that's happening right now and where it says this is what will mark the beginning of the end days or around the time of the end
There's a lot
days,
of
right? Whatever
astrology in
the
the
end days
Bible.
are.
There's a lot. Yeah.
Totally, 100%,
All over. It's all
100%.
through the Bible.
Yeah, well, it says in there that the beginning of the end is when I call my people back to the land, to their land. And the Jewish people got their land back in 1948. And 2025, you know what I've been saying about 2025. I don't like it. It's different. It's on my radar. It's going, I don't love it. it's exactly 77 years from 1948. And the biblical generation, my mother always told me it was 77 years. And it says, this generation shall not come to pass without the beginning of the end days or the second coming. So it makes me wonder because it's exactly 77 years from 1948 in 2025.
I will
There's
say
just weird stuff going on.
2025 is sneaking into my radar more and more. You know, I'm like
Yeah,
you, I
but
do
I'm
my
telling you,
predictions
it's
in
not right.
January for the coming year. And I really try to kind of stick to January through December of this year, but I couldn't do it
Yeah.
this year. More
Oh,
stuff
yeah.
keeps leaking over into 2025 because that's going to be such a big year for us. And
It
yes,
is.
I think we're going to have major world events in 25, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean we're not going to survive them. We're going to, we're going to weather,
Yeah,
we weathered COVID and
totally.
everything else,
Yeah.
don't get all scared about this. We're going to weather 2025. But I agree. I thought you phrased it really well when you said it's a different energy. And I'm
It
not
is.
sure how to language that energy. I can only say it's a different energy in 2025. One I'm not used to. One I haven't fully
Yes.
come to some terms with yet. I'm still
Yes.
figuring it out.
Yeah,
It's very different from 24, 23, any of these other years. So yeah.
I agree.
And
I
it's like
totally agree.
since COVID, I don't know if this happened in Canada, but in the United States, when we were on lockdown, it was like the great toilet paper shortage of 2020.
Oh
Like
yeah.
we knew
Oh
that
yeah.
toilet paper
Uh-huh.
is, like gold. So every time
Yeah.
I start to get nervous, I go buy toilet paper. It's like people buying canned food and putting it under their
Oh
bed. I
my
buy toilet
God.
paper.
It's too funny.
So we're going to have some different energies, but we're going to be
Yeah.
just fine.
Yeah.
So when we
Yeah.
talk about this, we're just kind of exploring and looking and
Yeah.
checking out some possibilities. Change is happening more and more quickly for the whole world and for
Yes.
us. And that can feel very unsettling. That's not always a comfortable feeling, but
Mhm.
it doesn't mean that it doesn't move us forward in good ways. It
Good
just
way of
means that sometimes
phrasing
we
it.
have to let go and ride the wave, you know.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
Now we
Absolutely right.
also, we talked about the eclipse some, but in a few days on April 2nd, even before the eclipse, Mercury turns retrograde.
Oh gosh. It's really hitting the fan this next week, isn't it?
Welcome to
Plus we have
April.
Easter. Plus tomorrow's Good Friday. Or yeah, tomorrow's Good
Yeah,
Friday. Oh, that gives away that when we recorded this, but still, tomorrow's Good Friday. So it's like, yeah, there's so much going on. It's
there's a lot
crazy.
going on. Technically it goes retrograde on the 2nd, and it stays retrograde until the 26th of April, so almost the whole month. And again, there's like the shadow of the retrograde, which can start up to a week before the actual retrograde energy. So for sensitive people, you're going to start to feel like Mercury's retrograde before it actually moves there. And there's lots of
Right.
times I'm experiencing that and I'm like, oh crap, I know Mercury's turning retrograde in a couple of days because I'm already in it, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
and Mercury is the planet that regulates commerce, our daily life, our comings and goings, our computers and telephones and driving to the grocery store and, our neighbors and all these parts of daily life, which is why it bothers us so much when it turns retrograde. Because when the energy is turning retrograde, it's not going forward easily and smoothly and directly. So we have to
Mhm.
redo things. We lose things. We can't find them. Oh, I lost that file. What happened to it? Oh, I can't find my car keys. Oh, the meeting got rescheduled. Oh, I missed your phone call. Oh, I got my dates all mixed up, which
Yeah.
annoys us. We tend to not like that. We tend to be annoyed at that. So
Yeah.
I'm just going to say from the very first day of April, check your dates, get it in writing, have a backup, CYA, see, I have it right
Yeah.
here where you emailed me these dates kind of thing. Doesn't mean you're
Yeah.
not going to have to redo it, but sometimes at least you can prove it wasn't your fault. And the one thing I always tell people is hang on to your patience, because if you're like me, I'm way over programmed and I'm running and I'm doing, and I'm like, what's on my schedule for the rest of this day? And what have I got to do? And when I finish talking to you, I've got to film something for this other website. And I'm like, I can't keep track of all this. And most of us are like that. You got to pick up the kids in carpool and, go over here and go to the grocery store and what have you. See if you can make your life a little bit easier. See if you can
Hmm.
delegate a little bit. See if you can let
Yeah.
go of a few tasks. Build in a little quiet time in there. Give yourself time to
Yeah.
rest, decompress. Do less instead of more. You're going to get more done in the long term. And you're going to enjoy the retrograde period. Because I'll tell you what the retrograde period is good for. It's good for meditation. It's good
Mm,
for
yeah.
going back and finishing things that we left half done. I've got tons of
Hmm.
half done projects all over this house. Not my finest hour. I get all excited and then peters out. So go back and
Yeah.
finish something.
True.
Finish the book you started 2 years ago that you put away and haven't done. It's
Yeah.
wonderful for giving us the time and the focus to go finish something. Sometimes we hear from old friends. We hear from people we haven't talked to in a while.
Yeah.
We may get annoyed about losing our car keys or missing our dentist appointment, but just understand that's not the end of the world. You reschedule your dentist appointment.
Yeah.
When we put a
Totally.
lot of pressure on ourselves, it has to be right, I have to be here, I have to do this, we just make our life harder. So kind of
Yeah.
give yourself a little bit of a break for most of April. There's a lot of energies going on there, a lot of energies all
Yes.
struggling to be expressed and kind of in your face. This is a
Yeah.
bold month. This is when the sun moves from Pisces into Aries. So we've got Pisces energy, we've got Aries energy, we've got Aquarius energies. It's a hell of a month. Can I say that? A lot going
Well,
on.
it's interesting. It's interesting that you mentioned the word hell, actually, because we also have the Devil's Comet in our orbit this month. And it's called Comet 12P slash Pons Brooks. But it's called the Devil's Comet because it looks like it has horns coming out of the top. And that's because due to an outburst of gas and dust. So, for anybody who is sensitive to EMF or to radiation or any of that yucky stuff like psychic attacks radiate very low vibrationally. They are on the same level as 5G and EMF. Like psychic attacks are dirty. So if you are a person who is being psychically attacked by someone, or you're having conflict with someone and you can't get it out of your head, chances are it's going like this, bouncing back and forth between the two of you guys. So in order to cut that off, you want to do some cleansing, as well as I love Defender Shield. I cannot stress enough how much my Defender Shield blanket has saved my sanity on days that I know that the EMF was really high, or if um like even I'll take that blanket with me everywhere. And I'll even, and especially I have one in my office because we've got a huge 5G tower, two of them actually, one on each end of the parking lot. It's terrible. So I've got every sort of device in here to neutralize that EMF. But sometimes I can still feel it. And so I'll bring out that blanket. There's also t-shirts that are Faraday clothing that you can buy off of Amazon, or like shawls that you can, I have a shawl as well that you can use. So probably this week I'm going to take out my Defender Shield products and really shield up, because when you've got CERN going on and the particle accelerator, and you got the US military, or sorry, not military, NASA shooting 3 rockets at the Ring of Fire, um, and then you've got the Devil's Comet that's coming through. There's a lot going on. It's better to shield ourselves and to just lay low. That's what I think.
It kind of makes me feel as if NASA and CERN don't fully understand what they're doing. I mean,
Yeah,
part of me
totally.
says, I know that sounds arrogant. Like I have no clue as to what NASA is talking about half the time and couldn't understand it if they're explaining it to me. But intuitively, I can feel they think they're using this one way or accessing this one way, but they're messing around with stuff they don't understand.
Yeah,
And I
you're
think they might be very
absolutely right.
surprised.
Well, and the thing is that okay, so as you know, I just got back from the Monroe Institute last month. And I learned coordinate remote viewing with Joe McMoneagle, who is like the godfather of remote viewing. Well, within that course, they talk also about astral traveling and outer body experiences. And it was when I was at the Monroe Institute that I actually successfully had my first OBE and I was able to direct it. Well, being there I learned all about different dimensions. Remember, I talked about it last month about the different dimensions of our reality, how there's 13
Mhm.
different
I
dimensions in
love
our
that.
reality. And I believe it's the sixth dimension where everything is happening all at once. And then it creates almost like a black hole to another dimension. So, what I believe what CERN is doing is what we can do spiritually. Every single one of us can come out of our body. I've done it. I'm not smart. I'm not special. I just learned how to do it. You want to learn how to astral travel or have an outer body experience? Go to the Monroe Institute. They're the pros that can teach you how to get out of your grid and fly. And I'm serious. And there's different ways through meditation and listening to binaural beats and stuff. And it's not like you're imagining this. This isn't you thinking about this. This is literally your soul, your astral self coming out of your body and going to different dimensions based on the quality and strength of your thoughts. Because the clearer you are on where you want to go, the easier it is to land there, right? It is, you literally travel at the speed of thought. I believe that not only does our US government know this, they've been doing it and playing with it since the 70s at the Monroe Institute. So of course they know about this stuff, right? But now I think they're trying to take us there physically because when we're out of our body, we're entering the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, right? Dimensions, but we're trapped physically in the third. I believe that CERN somehow is trying to take humanity or the globe into different
Oh,
dimensions.
wow.
Yeah. So it's and I mean, when you look up why it's here, what is CERN, it even says it's to discover how the universe works. They're playing with something that they have no idea about. Well, maybe they do. Maybe they do. Maybe that's why they're playing with it.
They're playing
But
God.
they are. They really, really, really are. And that's scary because if they bring us to, I don't know, a black hole or something, they open something up, what are they allowing into our reality without
Without fully understanding
knowing?
what they're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's sort of like the hubris of man, that, and it
hmm?
takes me back to Casey,
What's
what
that?
Casey said about Atlantis. Edgar Casey was talking about Atlantis, and that Atlantis was powered by this kind of solar cap pyramid thing that was
Yeah,
something like the closest I can say is a nuclear reactor or something like that. And he said they started to get more and more powerful, play more and more games with this thing, and want to use it and misuse it. And boom, they blew themselves up.
yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Not, don't, I'm not saying we're going to blow ourselves up, but I am saying there's sometimes a price to be
Oh,
paid for that kind of hubris,
yeah,
that does not recognize that we are not God. And sometimes we don't know what we're doing. And our
yeah,
grasp sometimes goes a little beyond what we should actually be reaching for, or a little too quickly. Yeah.
yeah.
I'm not against them looking at this, but they're so busy trying to see, can we do this, that I
Hmm.
don't know that they're asking, should we do this? And I would like
Yes,
them to ask
good
that
point.
question along with it.
Yes,
Yeah.
really, really good point. Just because they can, should they? Right? Is it really for the betterment of humanity? But I think it's very, very interesting. Oh, here was the other thing too. That like I'm telling you, it's biblical proportions what we're living through right now. I totally forgot about the red heifer. Did you hear about the red heifer that Israel is
Yeah.
getting ready to sacrifice? So that is a biblical prophecy that I believe marks the beginning of the end days. Now, it has to be a perfect red heifer. So they literally had it flown in, I believe from New York. It was flown in from the States. And this cow
Rare.
is like the revered cow. The here, I'll look it up really, really quick.
Oh,
And
never heard of this before.
you haven't heard this. Um, red heifer. Hold on. Heifer sacrifice 2024. Um, the sacrifice of the red heifer. Okay. Israel to hold conference on preparation for red heifer ritual. This was just in the news yesterday, actually. It says the Temple Institute is scheduled to hold a conference on Wednesday to discuss the religious preparations for performing the ritual of sacrificing the red heifer. This ritual aims to purify from the impurity of the dead, to surpass the prohibition imposed by the great rabbinate of Israel from entering. I don't know this. Anyways, it goes on and on. I won't go into it, but if you're curious out there, read up on it, because
I'm
from
gonna
what
read up
I
on it.
understand, that sacrifice is very, it's a big, it's of biblical proportions. It's a really big deal, really big deal. So why is all of this stuff happening? And what is it in prep for? That's what I would say. Because if there's one thing that I picked up about 2024, it was in preparation of. That's the energy of 2024. It's like we're preparing, or we're being set up for something come 2025. And that we got to ask ourselves, what is being set in motion? That's, I guess, a better way to say it. What are we setting in motion in our lives, in the world, in Hollywood, in all of it? What are we setting up for right now that is going to come to fruition closer to the end of the year or 2025? Because the years that really pop out to me were 2020, 2025, and 2030. 2030, if they push that agenda through, the 2030 agenda, we're screwed. This whole world doesn't even have a clue what it will look like.
I'm
If
getting
the
a
World
little bit
Economic
about
Forum,
2030, and what I get so far, I'm not too thrilled about,
yeah, me neither.
Yeah, so I'm kind of with you there. I know we're
Yeah,
running out
you'll
of
own
time, but I
nothing,
want to
you'll be
mention,
happy.
yeah, there you go. I'm going to say one more thing about April, because as if, the solar eclipse wasn't enough and a retrograde Mercury is not enough. We also have, for the first time in a couple of decades, Jupiter is bumping up and coming together with the planet Uranus. And both of these are in the sign of Taurus, the bull. And Taurus is an earth sign. So you're looking at the earth. Uranus is a planet of the future, of revolution, of independence, of progressive ideas, of things we've never done before. Oh, let's try this. Oh, maybe we could do that. Space age and NASA and, science fiction and inventions and all these things. Not a calm, quiet planet. And Jupiter is going to sit next to it. They're coming together. And Jupiter is a planet that pours gasoline on the fire, goes, oh, let's make this bigger.
Oh,
So
lovely.
these two are coming
Lovely.
together on April 20th. And again, most of you are going to start to feel this before April 20th. But because of the
Mhm.
Earth tone to this with all this Taurus energy, I'm thinking we might see an eruption of some sort. There may be a volcano that explodes, or there may be an earthquake because of the disruption to the Earth kind of thing. So there may be something
Gotcha.
physical or geographical that happens with this. But in astrology, the sign of Taurus also has a strong money connotation to it. So we may see something happen with the stock market. We may see a big shift or change in the stock market around that time. We may see some announcements about digital currencies or one world currency, or things we've alluded to before. We may see those kinds of things come up because that's Jupiter conjunct Uranus in the sign of Taurus. So we're going to see announcements this month in April. We're going to see entertainment news come up, political news come up, geographical news come up. We're going to start to see all of this coming forward. This is why I gave a talk a few months ago where I said March, April, and May, like buckle up, Buttercup, because they're going to be busy months with a lot going
Yeah,
on.
I felt that
So
too. Yeah.
one thing after the next thing after the next thing. But
Yeah.
always remember underneath it, this is freeing for us. Uranus is about freedom. So we're moving away from being stuck. We're moving into new energies. We're moving into new ideas. We're moving out of places in our life that we don't like being. And we're moving into places that speak to our heart better, that honor who we really are better. So it's sort of, because sometimes we get stuck in places in life, stuck in a job we don't like, but it pays the bills, stuck in a marriage it's not fulfilling, but it's not horrible. Stuck in a city we're not really that thrilled with. It's too much trouble to move. But this energy comes in and we have opportunity to change and to move. And we have that opportunity to do it on our terms, on our terms. What do we want? What are the changes we want to make? So yes, and then remember, 6 months down the line in the fall, we're going to start to see some of the results of the decisions we've made this April. Exciting, exciting stuff. I mean, big doings happening.
Definitely. Definitely. So we'll just have to keep an eye on the news or on and for once and just see how it plays out on a personal level and on a global level because it's with energy moving like this, it has to come out. It has to eventually, be seen. And so, and like I was saying, I think that we're going to be surprised at more arrests over these next few months. It feels like there's going to be at least one a month or something. And I think that we are going to be shocked with the people that are involved in that. But man, oh man, and you heard about Nickelodeon. And I don't know if you heard about Nickelodeon too. Yeah, where basic sex trafficking, kids being forced to kiss and make out with adults on screen, and yeah, just terrible stuff. Terrible stuff. So it's the illusion that everything's okay. It's this evil's always been there. It's just now it's in our face where we can't ignore it anymore. We can't go, oh yeah, that's a conspiracy theory. No, it's not. Arrests are being made, right? So
Things are happening in real time that we are
yes,
seeing and experiencing
yes,
in real time.
yeah, exactly. So I think there's gonna be more of those. I'll throw that prediction in there because they're not done cleaning the swamp yet. I don't believe they are. So yeah, but we'll just have to wait and see. But either way, it's good stuff. Good stuff coming to light. I really feel that, and so we need to ride this wave and take care of ourselves as we're doing it.
Own your power, stay centered, don't let the world shake you off into a direction that's not comfortable for you. None
Yeah.
of these things have to come out in a bad or negative way in your life. This is why
Mhm.
we talk about this, so that you can have an opportunity to say, oh, okay, this is how I'm going to use that. This can be a good thing for me.
Yeah.
You're aware, and awareness is power, positive power in your own life. So I'm excited about April. I've got a lot of stuff scheduled for April and I'm excited about it. So I can't wait to see what's going to happen for me.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Well, we'll be doing it again next month. So, and before we end, I will say I'm publicly announcing my next retreat, which is on September 15th to the 20th in magical Sedona, Arizona, where I take 19 people and it's just us for the week. And we have amazing accommodations, five-star accommodations, amazing food. We do excursions every day. I keep them so busy from the minute they're up till, fireside chats at night and activations in the vortexes and meditating in the vortexes. And oh, we have fun. There's even a shopping day where I take them into the town because Sedona has the greatest stores and shopping. That's where I Pyramid was. I don't know if you've ever heard me mention I Pyramid. Well, it's you'll have to look it up, but you've seen my pyramid in my studio, right? When I do my meditations and stuff, I'm sitting under a pyramid. Well, they make a pyramid like mine, but they have frequencies. It's hooked up to an app, and frequencies actually resonate through the pyramid. And so it's in Sedona, and I went there and I sat under it and I was blown away. I so want to get one, but they're really expensive. So I'm gonna have to look into it without a plan or something, but my God, I was blown away. And so anyways, we do shopping day in Sedona afternoon, and it's a bucket list trip. I try to think of everything that I would love and expect and the quality that I would expect on a retreat. And I try to cram it all into mine. So it's open. Registration is open. You can take a look at all of the rooms. The prices vary per room. So just, yeah, have a look if you're interested in coming because it's going to be perfect weather. It's between 26 to 30 every day in September out there and nice and cool in the evening at 16 degrees. Oh yeah, you don't know Celsius. I don't know
I'm
Fahrenheit, so
translating in
I
my
can't
head.
tell you.
It's okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
It's beautiful. So I just wanted to mention to everybody, there's only 19 spots. So if you're interested and you want to meet me and hang out with me in the vortexes and, have sit in our jammies as we sip tea and talk ghost stories and I teach you guys what I know, come join me. You can see it on my website, www.patriciamona.com. You'll see it up at the top in the menu. So definitely check it out. And Susan, my lovely Susan, how do people get a hold of you if they
Oh,
are
that's
trying to
right.
have a reading by you? Because you're phenomenal. Like you did my chart, and I was blown away with the information that you gave me. So definitely
Well,
give Susan
just
a call
contact me
or
through
an
my
email, and
website,
yeah.
exploreastrology.com. You can book a reading. You can see what I have going on. I do different talks, classes. I'm so excited. It's sold out right now, so class is closed. But friends and I decided to go into a 6-month long course of deep esoteric
Ooh,
study, which I have been
nice.
wanting to do for a long time because I love the beginning levels, but I've been wanting to get my teeth into something and go way deeper for people who are
Yeah.
hungry for that. So we're finally doing it. So I'm super excited about that. And so yes, busy, 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 but exploreastrology.com and let me know and we'll see what's going on with you.
Nice.
Busy here for
Nice.
all of us.
Excellent. Yeah, it's gonna be, but it's a good year. It's got good energy. So everybody know that, switch into that thinking and look forward to the blessings that are coming your way. Because when you're in the flow, it comes. It comes with grace and ease. So I thank you so much, Susan, for doing our monthly psychic and astrological predictions with me. I look forward to this. I really do each month because it's interesting to see how our information correlates, right?
We
So,
kind of get there. We just get there from different places, but we arrive in the same spot.
all over the place.
Yeah.
Nothing scripted, everybody, as you can see. So, but the right information always comes through that people need to know. And it's interesting to be able to, kind of timestamp things and then look back and go, oh yeah, I remember seeing that was going to happen. So it's nice to do that. But anyways, okay, well, until May, my dear,
Until
I
May,
hope
you
that
have a
you have
great
those.
month. Keep me posted.
Yeah,
Let me know all the stuff that's going on. We'll just keep touching
yes,
base
I will. Yeah,
and
we'll keep in touch,
and we'll
especially over
schedule.
this next week.
Yeah,
I said we should keep in touch over this
it's
next
a
week
big
and just
week.
see what you feel and stuff. Like I'm going to be making notes. If I notice my energy shifting, I'm going to be making and do a video about it because I think it's crazy cool. And actually, ironically, I forgot to mention this, you guys. I actually have a class on that night called Awakening Your Psychic Senses
Oh,
on
wow.
the day of the solar eclipse. Yeah, seven
I
o'clock.
love it.
So there's an energy, you guys. So if you're drawn to awakening your psychic senses and you want to know how to legitimately do it and tap in and have the keys to successfully be able to see and remote view, um, come to my class on April 8th, Awakening Your Psychic Senses. And yeah, we'll be doing attunements and everything at the end and little activations, meditations. So yeah, it'll be fun. Anyways, okay, I'm
All
good
right.
on my gabbling.
I'll see you next month. Have a great Easter weekend and have a great April, and we will keep checking in.
Excellent. And you, Susan, and everybody out there, have a wonderful Easter, and we will see you soon. God bless. Bye for now.